Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear Dharma friends, when it comes to our this human existence, from morning to night, night to morning, 24/7, we have a dream. That dream mostly related with our own self-freedom. Each and every human beings, these all living beings, even these plants, even every atom, that whatever exists, and always have a journey to find its own freedom. That movement itself is called energy. So it's kind of like when you drop that journey, when you drop that struggle, two things. Once you drop the struggle for freedom, one is kind of like you dead. Another one is you have the freedom. It's kind of like when you have a journey, when you come to the destination, you end the journey. So like that, when you look for the freedom, once you have the freedom, you don't look for the freedom. So like that, this journey always happening. It's happened eons by eons in the sansaric journey. This keep coming, this journey. So this is a moment that we have ourselves to think and see what is the freedom that we have, and are you going in the right direction? Because maybe we need certain things, but if we go in the wrong direction, then it's not going to happen sometimes. We cannot get it. So when it comes to freedom, that from what we look for, what we trying to find the freedom, there are two ways: inner freedom and this external freedom. Material freedom, psychological freedom. Inside freedom, outside freedom. So you have to be very careful. So the very first thing that you have to understand, are you really want to be free? So mostly sometimes people like to be in the cage. They don't want freedom. They addicted to being in the cage. There was a person, 50 years he was in a prison, and then the new king came, and as celebration, and he gave freedom to prisoners. And then one prison guard came and opened the door and told this old person, and he almost he was kind of 50 years was in the jail, and he opened the door and told to this person, okay, go. And this person looked at that jail and asked, where? And then he told, you can go, now you're free. Then this prisoner asked, what does that mean? Where you have to go? And then he told, you can go anywhere now. Now you're free. I don't know where you have to go. You can go anywhere. You are free. And this person came out of the cell, and then he start to look here and there, and he saw this that people going here and there, and the all the nature, this outside, and it disturbed him, and it disturbed him, and then he turned back and ran inside to the cell and told, I don't want to go anywhere, let me be here. And then the 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 prison guard told, no, you cannot be here now. Now you have to go. You have no permission, authority to stay here. So that's how the prison. If you want to stay there, it's kind of, they not allow. Once you free, you have to go. Then it's funny, Once they sentence you, they hold you and put the handcuff, and with the soldiers, and they take you in. And when they say you are free, and then they hold you and try to throw you out. So somehow this person the same, and then the guard told, no, you cannot stay now. Now you have to go. And then he came out with the fear, anxiety, depression, sadness, worry, and then the freedom itself start to disturb. The same thing happening with us also. Just look yourself. How big this, world. And can you go out of your house and see, without any intention, how you find your room at home, even it is your own house, and you don't stay in even sometimes outside. How you find your room? You have no intention. That automatically you go there. You hide in a place. And you have windows, how often that you open the windows, and even how are you looking out of the windows. And on your neighborhood, there are sometimes the walking path, are you walk. And sometimes in life, have you ever thought, it's just physical, forget about it's nothing to do with the spiritual, just physical. Have you ever thought to find this physical freedom, experience it little bit? Because deeply we stuck, and that itself not allow you to open your awareness. So when you get disturbed suddenly, when something happen, and then you start to look why this happened. So otherwise these things always happening. But when it happened to you, how possible that you get disappointed, upset, sad, worry? So it is already there, but we don't see it. So as example, that few weeks ago, there was an earthquake, 4.2 in Los Angeles. And a lot of people got disappointed and saying, oh my gosh, what is that? How it going to happen like that way? Oh, what going to happen to us like that? Now, more than 100 years, they keep telling there's something going to happen because that's the way it is. But even we know that when it happened, we cannot accept it. So in your life, when it comes to this conventional life, the same. that you know everything. You know people die. You know sometimes that things break down, and you know sometimes that the things going to disappear. This all you know. It's a basic knowledge. But when it happened to you, why you cannot take it? The reason is you are in a kind of like a cell. You are in a kind of like a cage that you build yourself. And when it get disturbed, it doesn't matter worldly nature. If you get disturbed, then you have the fear, anxiety, depression, worry, sadness, so like that. And we have kind of like a self image build up little by little, little by little, little by little. Self identity crisis. This crisis happening all the time. Self identity crisis. You build up identity. I am like this. And you know this everything impermanent. You know everything change. And you know even head to toes, any single atom you cannot hold. This everything always change. You experience your childhood time, your teenager time, as a young person, as an elder. You have seen how you change. But still, even that, in that change, you cannot accept the the self-image that you build in you. You take as permanent. You don't want to accept it as changing. So that is the prison that we have to slowly get out. And see, there are a lot of people finally, and they get disappointed because of their own self-image. They get disappointed from their own self-identity. Why? Because thinking about the freedom, they develop the cage. So if you become unhappy because of your own behavior, no one can help. So that's why the Dharma, that the teachings, little by little, you have to understand when you have opportunity, because then you're not going to go to that kind of crisis. You're able to get out of it little by little before it attack you. Otherwise, if we build the self-image, self-identity, when it becomes too strong, what is happening? It's going to attack to ourselves also. And there was a very reason that research done from a university regarding this social media, very interesting. And a lot of people get disappointed when with these social medias, like mainly Facebook. And the reason is their own selfie, not because of something else. They get disappointed because of their own image. How it is happening? Because when you want to post something, and sometimes you kind of like, you are not normal, you kind of like react, and you come to a kind of like a putting a pace, kind of like a so beautiful, so nice, and it is not real sometimes. Even you put makeup and design in, so like that, and then you put the selfie, and everybody say, oh, you lie, oh, you beautiful, so like that. But you know it is not real nature. Now your own post going to attack you. Why? Because when you look at it, you have a struggle, because you have to maintain that, and you know it is not you. And there are some people, they go to mall and they they wear kind of like they go and this fitting room and they just put the cloth and take a selfie, and then they post. They don't buy that cloth, and then other people say, oh, you look nice, beautiful, pretty, handsome. Now they have a problem. Why? Because they don't have it. And the filters, in the phone, when you take a picture, it has filters, and so you use a filter and it take out all the things, that unnecessary things, and it make it kind of like a newly born baby. So everybody say, oh, you look so pretty, nice, handsome, beautiful. And but when you look at yourself, the same picture, you get disappointed now. See that this self crisis happening. This everywhere. Then you have to be careful yourself. So because who you build into you, what you build inside you, going to attack you if it is not the right thing. And see, that's how the people kill themselves. It's happening all over, everywhere. And during this time period, people get more disappointed. And when people kill themselves, mostly when they shoot themselves, where they shoot, they don't shoot here or here. No, they go here. Always they go here, because this mind disturbed. They get so mad with the mind. So then yourself remember, the freedom mean recognizing the freedom, getting the freedom is very carefully you have to find out. Because if it is kind of like a misunderstanding or going somewhere else, so maybe that you think that the prison is itself is the freedom, and you go into it, and that the outside freedom, it going to become disturbed. Even you become free, it become a prison to you. So don't become like that, because in this very lifetime, if you able to attain to the the enlightenment or the liberation, otherwise in the samsaric journey, whatever you learn, it going to come as a habit to yourself. Then in this very lifetime, what you learn, make it help for your samsaric journey, and it become a profitable skill to yourself. So then bondage and freedom, this is the struggle that we have. So then you have to see, when you have a bondage, what is the reason that you have that? And the behalf of the freedom, if you have a bondage, that is so dangerous. You cannot get out of it. So another thing is, when you want to become free, and if you resist that something, and that also so dangerous, because then you have the anger, disappointment with what you have. So then everybody look for freedom, everybody like for freedom, but knowingly or unknowingly, most of people thinking it is freedom, and they get into the prison. And so that is where you need the wisdom. So as example, you feel more relaxed, you alone yourself, and then you feel kind of like you are now free. And then you feel kind of like you need a puppy or cat, and you get it. And then what happening later? And now you have to maintain that. And you start to have a bondage. So everything the same. Whatever the things that we thinking about the freedom, and if we try to get something and hold it to something, clinging to something, and sometimes it's going to take us to the prison. So if you not become very careful, you are in trouble, and no one can help. And then disappointed, unhappiness, sadness, worry, then the fear. That fear lead you to do something else, which is unnecessary. And because once you develop, do something with your bodily, verbally, and mentally action, and it is you are responsible for that. So then how you can get out of it? Because you have to do something, and at the same time what you're doing should not make a prison yourself. Otherwise that clinging itself going to take the responsibility to yourself. So then whatever the things that you do in day-to-day life, the very first important thing is, remember, the whatever the bodily, verbally, or mentally action, and get out of the self-centered mind. Because with the self-centered mind, it is always take us to the clinging. And the deeply how you can apply the knowledge of vipassana. Because when you observe, when you become very clear with the feeling, sensation, formations, and the consciousness, and you recognize there is no such entity, unchangeable entity, permanent entity as self. That understanding, so when you trying to go with something, that understanding will help you to not to struggle. Even looking for freedom, I want to be free. Even if we when you look for the freedom with the self-centered mind, that itself can take you to difficulties. And that is the important thing, because I am the one who want to be free. Then it is in a wrong position. So then the very key point, where even you look for freedom, and you have to understand, it is not, it don't look it with the self-centered mind. It's kind of like you again go back to the prison. And so when you look for freedom, that's why you have to be so wise, and otherwise that you cannot get that. So in this very moment, this very level, that how you have to understand and recognize that all the conditions, things change moment by moment. And even if you are in a situation, you feel kind of like you're stuck, the very important thing, get out of the idea of the you or the self, and itself, that moment, allow you to find the freedom. It's kind of like you go through a rabbit hole, but still, that's why we practice the vipassana only little by little, because otherwise the looking for freedom, it is a suffering and a struggle. That is it. But freedom, when you, it's freedom in a spiritual life, it is not a suffering or struggle. It is a very, very wrong idea. It is a kind of like this conventional life. When we go against something, that's why we call the struggle for freedom. So whatever the struggle in the society, and people we gather and do and go against something, and then people appreciate that. So mentally you cannot practice that idea. You go against to whom? So freedom struggle, maybe you have an enemy, and you go against that enemy, and maybe conventionally you can use that word. I don't know about that, but spiritually, that how you can struggle for your freedom, you cannot. That's it, the first lesson that the Buddha gave, even when he practiced 6 years with this all the yogic methods, giving hard time to body. You cannot struggle with the body. So one of the best example is kind of like the musician, how they play the instrument. They don't struggle with the instrument. They make it kind of like a part of their body. They don't abuse the instrument, but still they get the best out of it, which is not belong to their body. Still they able to get out what they want, what is in their mind. They able to get out of that instrument which is not part of their body. See, that is the art. So the freedom also the same. This anything is not ours, but it is yours. But out of this all, without abusing this anything, can you make find the freedom that you want? Even with the people the same, whoever giving hard time to you, maybe especially the people whoever too close to you, husband, wife, children, friends and family members, we, they are the one who giving hard time, or maybe mostly we get unhappy because of them. So can you find the inner peace that which you looking for, what you looking for through them? That is the art. So you have to be wise for that. So then remember, no struggle, no suffering for the freedom. The only thing is, when you're going to do something, get out of the self-centered mind and start to do it. And that will help you to release that. Otherwise, you always go back to the prison. You go back to the prison. Again and again, again and again, whatever happened, you go back to the prison. So this is a very good time period as a human being to find the path for that freedom. So then yourself, when you start to come to a point, whatever you do with your bodily, verbally and mentally action, and start to do things without the self-centered mind. That is the first step to find the freedom yourself. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbitiyo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata cha ammihi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idammi punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu. Sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.